Mr. Fitz here. Hope you're going well. This is video 3 of the CO2 Dragster series. This video, I'm going to show you how to draft your work and complete and finish the final checks. Now, once you've got your model set up like this, I showed you in the last one quickly at the end how to create some fillets. There's quite a lot you can do to shape and style your work from here. I've seen some students cut out holes and extra pockets, maybe do some extra weight saving. I've seen kids cut things through the guts of it all the way through. There's probably quite a few things you can do to the design. So have a go at doing what you can to make it unique. Beyond there, a few other things you can do in your design is to change its appearance. So by default, it's blue. You can change the color of this to whatever color you want. It's just going to show you roughly what it looks like. Obviously, that's just going to be the graphics in the program. The next thing you can do before we do some drafting is chuck some wheels on your car to get a bit more of a visual of how it's going to look. Now, I'll show you in another video, with the final video, about how to do assemblies. It's not a must that you do that. So you can just simply sketch on what you think the wheel is going to look like for some proportion. So what we can do here is just click the sketch tool and click on a face, say here, and then we can just draw some circles. I'm going to draw these where the arcs are. These come down. So from these here, the back wheels are going to be 40 millimeters diameter, and the fronts are 35, slightly smaller. So just try to pin that in the center of the holes there, and then use the dimension tool to draw them up. So the back wheels are 40, and the front wheels are 35. Press escape to get out of the dimension tool. And then there we go. So without actually extruding them, you just get a good visual from the side that that's the proportions of your design. Mine's got a cool little relief at the back here. That front wheel is going to look quite even with the height of my body. And then obviously if I extrude from there, it's going to make it look 3D. Cool. Happy with that? I'm going to click on the tick to finish that. And I'm actually going to right click and just turn off that sketch. So that little eyeball turns it off. Cool. Design's ready to go. Now I'm going to show you how to draft it. So in OnShape, bottom left, this little plus tab, we're going to go create drawing. Now in this setting, it's really important that you use the settings I tell you here. So go to custom templates. The drafting standards we're going to use is ISO. English, of course, is our language. Change A4 to A3 so we can fit this on here. Millimeters, that one's fine. And just change this projection to third angle. That's what we use as far as our view layout. And then go OK. And it will create the template here for you. Now this should pop up, and this is going to ask us what are we actually going to draft here. So we're going to choose our part 1. And then it's going to try to throw us a view to start with. On the top left here in the view command, we want to change our view scale to 1:1. That's going to give us a full scale view. This is going to start with our side view, which is perfect. Now let's place this in the center of the page, but off to the left. And there we go. There's our first view. Now from here, it tends to want to go into drawing our projections. So we do want a number of views here. If I drag to above my work, I'm going to do a top view. And I can also go below. Oh, no, that's it. It's just going to give me 2 views. No, here we go. Just press escape for a sec there. To do more views, we go over to projection here. And you always need to start by clicking an existing view before you drag the projection. So I can click on that side view and draw a view out here. And I can also click again and do one underneath, like so. So it's pretty important that you have at least 3 views. So a side, a top to see these cutouts, and a front view as well. And it wouldn't hurt to do a bottom view as well. It just gives you a bit more perspective of your designs. And that's basically what you need in order for us to actually print this full scale and cut this and use this as a template for our construction. Down here in the title block, you can click on these values here. So let's just double click top here. Just what's going on here. Double click here. So the title is going to be CO2 Dragster. Let's put your name in here. We know who's drawn it. And then it should have your name, material, level that as it is. That's fine. I'm just going to do revision 1 to start with in case I change this down the track. I can change it to 2. Cool. All right. Point, put your name there. Now, the last things with our drawings we can do here, which is important, is to do some dimensions. So just like your sketches, you can use the dimension tool on here. And this is going to be really useful just to double check that everything's going to comply with our specs. So I can go point to point, for example, draw that 275. I'm going to check the height as well, which is 60. From this view here, I'm just going to make sure that my width is 40. Yep, that's good. These hole positions are probably really important as well because you may not be able to use your template, so you might better use your drawing to check these. So let's go from this end to my hole center. It's 45. This one I go from here to my hole, 55, and then double check from the bottom there, 7. Bottom to that hole is also 7. So at least I can use my drawing here for construction. This top view is pretty cool as well. That might be a little bit hard to get the measurements of that one, so you could potentially measure where that is. So a little bit hard to grab there, but you can roughly get from these ends to the curve. Bit of a weird dimension, but at least shows you what the go is there. That's not very useful. Cool. That's all you need to do in this drawing here, is those particular views and those dimensions. What you can add, we go back to insert view, using the same part. I'm going to actually put in an isometric view. You see how this is really big and it won't fit on your drawing. I'm actually going to downsize this one, so maybe make this one 1 to 5. Oh, it's tiny, maybe 1 to 4. Still little. I can put in a view there. 1 to 4 isometric view. Cool, that is it. That is your drawing. By default, it saves it in your work here down at the drawing. And then in order to get this out of OnShape, one thing we can do on this one is right click and go export. We can export this drawing as a PDF. Leave everything as it is. Drawing 1, go export. Just takes a few seconds to sort this one out. It's going to ask you where to save it. So chuck this on your H drive. Drawing 1 should be alright there. And go save. And that should download your drawing. There we go. You can preview it. If I now go to print this document, what I can do is print to the Creative Design printer. I'm not sure how you'll go actually printing this yourself. What I will ask you to do actually is to submit this to Daymap so I can check it with you and then we can print this off. But we can go in and set up our printer for A3, make sure everything is fit to paper, custom, make sure it's 100%. That will double check that everything's right. And then do a print. We're going to do 2 of those. So you got 1 for construction and 1 for reference. And tickety-boo, off we go. Cool. So that's the basics of drafting in OnShape. Don't forget to put your name and your dimensions on your parts. Best of luck.